You have to be the guy that's able to crack a beer just as easily as he's tasting a fine wine. You have to be the guy that enjoys playing chess as much as he enjoys sparring and boxing. You have to be as comfortable in a McDonald's as you would be in a 2-star Michelin restaurant. Because there's massive value in having that skill. I was in sales for over 15 years and I worked with literally thousands of different people. And the nice thing about it is that you get the perspective and you get a sense of how different people really are. So you talk to people all across the socioeconomic spectrum, all sorts of different opinions, and you need to be able to speak to them in a way that is congruent, that proves that you're on the same wavelength, which is hard to do. And that is a super important skill for you, to be able to be smart enough, adaptable enough, pliable enough to make conversation and build rapport, get on the same wavelength, talk the same language in whatever environment you find yourself in. Now, let me give you some pointers on how to become that guy. Number one is that I want you to let go of the idea that you are a certain kind of guy. So many people put themselves in a nice tight little box and they say, I'm the kind of guy that does this and doesn't do that. This is who I am. This is my personality. And then they build their entire persona around that. Now, what I'm not saying is just let go of all of your morals, all of your rules, just be a wet turd and whatever the situation calls for, do that. I'm not telling you to be a yes man, but I am telling you that it makes no sense to decide right now in what kind of box you fit. You need to be able to talk to people in all sorts of different boxes and be comfortable in that situation. So number one, don't box yourself in. Number two, I want you to expose yourself to different kinds of people, different groups of people. So exposure drastically increases the speed at which you can pick up this skill. If you want to get comfortable in a high-end situation, in a high-end venue, it makes a lot of sense to spend time there. And you want to make sure that you step out of the comfort zone that you're in and you build opportunities to be in situations that you're not used to being in. Because that's the best way. If you expose yourself to something that's new for you, you'll speed up your rate of learning exponentially. And then people always ask, well, how do you do that? How do I get into the high-end venue? How do I make friends? How do I network my way up there? And that's probably a good subject for a future video. But for now, what it comes down to is that if you're open to new experiences, new people, if you make it a point to be more outgoing, to talk to people freely, those opportunities will come. And what I'd like you to do is when they come, you grab them with both hands and you get as much out of the experience as you can. Not saying to take advantage, I'm saying in here you get as much out of the experience as you can. You notice, what are people saying? How are they acting? What are they doing? What are they not doing? You soak it all up, almost like a scientist researching this new environment. And it leads me to my third point, which is I want you to be a chameleon. Now, as you might know, a chameleon is an animal that can take on the color of whatever environment he's in for camouflage. And what's important to notice is that the chameleon doesn't turn into another creature. It doesn't turn into a new animal. It just takes on the color of wherever he is. And that's what I'd like you to be. I don't want you to act a completely different way, adopt completely new opinions, just say whatever is expedient in the moment. You are still you. You are yourself. But you accentuate certain parts of your personality. You are socially aware enough to know that you handle yourself differently at the burger joint compared to the Michelin star restaurant. You speak in a different way at a high-end cocktail party than you do when you're in the locker room in the gym with your buddies. And you're able to do both. So by taking notice of all of these different environments, soaking up all the experiences, seeing like what parts of my personality are good to accentuate in this situation, and what should I sort of dial back, you'll notice that it's very possible to blend in any environment. And what you'll also notice in terms of networking benefits is that once they realize that you're someone who gets it, you'll be invited more and more and more. You'll be a welcome guest at any social event because you get it. You actually make an effort to notice, like, what is acceptable in this scenario? What is desirable? What should I do? What should I not do? And if you know that, just by knowing that, you can stand out from a lot of people. Because many people never take the trouble to actually think about, like, in what setting am I? What should I be doing? What should I be saying? Many people just wing it all the time, never being conscious about their behavior and what they're actually doing. Don't be that guy. Be very meticulous about this. Be focused. Be a social chameleon and reap the rewards.